In this lesson, Kate and Christopher use a new applet called Making Pink Paint. For the batch of paint on the left, they can enter the number of ounces of white paint that they want to use and the number of ounces of red paint. Similarly, for the batch on the right, they can enter the number of ounces of white paint and the number of ounces of red paint that they want to use. Then, they can mix the red and white paint to make pink paint. The goal of this lesson is to mix different amounts of white paint and red paint together to make two batches of paint that are the same shade of pink. First, Kate and Christopher make sense of how the applet works.
So, in this lesson, you're going to figure out how to enter amounts of white and red paint for batches of paint so that both batches of paint will be the same shade of pink. But before we start, just play around a bit with this applet and see if you can figure out how the applet works.
Whammy.
Okay. So what have you just noticed about the applet?
Works the same basically.
Okay, so you're mixing paint. Kate, what are the units?
The volume or mass or whatever it's called.
It's just
Well, what do you think? Wait, let's puzzle this
Ounces.
through. Why is it?
Ounces.
Why is it saying?
45, but it's not past 45.
Well, what's not past 45?
It's just saying caution, so you don't go.
Well, something is
Really?
past 45. What is past 45? Did you notice what needs to be under?
They're added together.
Yeah. For this is probably not gonna work. Haha.
I get it now. I thought it was about how high it is. Now I realize that it's mixed with white paint and it has red paint, and you have to like change the shade by how much white paint it is, how much red paint there
Finally,
is,
you understand.
and then so you can go like, if you want this to be darker, you can probably put this at like 9, and then you can make them both darker. And then you just have to make them the same shade.
Kate and Christopher discovered several important features of the applet. First, they figured out what the caution sign means. The amount of white paint and red paint added together can't be more than 45 ounces. Here, 20 ounces of white paint plus 40 ounces of red paint is 60 ounces of pink paint. But the beaker will only hold 45 ounces of pink paint. When Christopher changed the 20 ounces of white paint to 3 ounces, the caution sign disappeared. That's because the total amount of pink paint is now 43 ounces, which is less than 45 ounces. Second, Christopher discovered that just because the total amount of pink paint in each batch is the same, their shade of pink may not be the same. He used 40 ounces of white paint and 3 ounces of red paint for one batch, and 3 ounces of white paint and 40 ounces of red paint for the other. Both batches contained 43 ounces of pink paint, but the batch on the right is a darker shade of pink. That helped Kate figure out that she could change the shade of pink by changing the amount of white paint or the amount of red paint in a batch. To make the batch on the left darker, Kate decreased the amount of white paint from 40 ounces to 9 ounces. That made the batch of paint on the left darker than it was, but it is still not as dark as the batch on the right. Kate said that she would like to try to make the two batches the same shade of pink, and that's exactly what Kate and Christopher do in the next episode.